Dear learners, welcome to the course Organizational Design and Development. This session I am going to share OD interventions and its features. How we need to select OD intervention for the entire components of development and design part. Say for example, how to choose intervention for recruitment selection process and how to choose intervention for training and development. Whatever the factors which are available in the component OD process, everything we can discuss in this session. And all the interventions are having its own unique features. In what basis we can select OD intervention. OD intervention is not a just fancy corporate buzzword. It is a deliberate evidence-based action design to improve an organization health and effectiveness. See how to develop the overall performance of our organization for which we are taking much efforts. See, out of more efforts, the OD interventions also contributing a lot. So think of it, thorough diagnostic and a custom-made treatment plan for a business. While traditional management often focuses on short-term fixes or surface-level symptoms. So OD intervention dig deep into the roots or root cause, addressing the values, behavior, and systems that dictate how a company truly functions when no one is watching. It is applicable to all the company, right? No one can exception from this point. See, the significance of many interventions can't be overstated in our modern world, fast-paced environment, friends. So we live in an era where the way we have always done it is a recipe for future. See, OD intervention provide the necessary bridge between a company's current reality and its future potential by fostering a culture of continuous improvement and psychological safety. This is very important because these aspects, expected by all the employees of an organization, either middle or top level or even entry level. So this and all is very, very important, friends. So they are very much essential because they align a company's most valuable asset. It's a people with its strategic goals. See, when we intervene to improve communication, resolve deep-seated conflicts, or streamline messy workflows, we are not just making the office a nicer place to work, we are building a more resilient, agile, and profitable machine that can withstand any market disruption. Front, you should understand. See, OD interventions are planned and structured efforts. What to do, what not to do, which steps we need to concentrate, which steps probably we can prioritize more, and aimed at improving organizational effectiveness and employee well-being. In simple terminologies, the OD interventions are deliberate actions taken to solve organizational issues and enhance further performance. See, the interventions are not random. They are carefully designed based on identified needs or so-called problems, right? See, one important aspect of OD, they are grounded in behavioral science. Concept from psychology, sociology, on organizational behavior are used to understand how people behave in organization. Probably you came to know something about these components, what we taught in the concept called OB. So this makes OD intervention really scientific and evidence-based rather than intuitive or trial and error approaches, right? The primary objective is to address so many problems such as faulty communications, low productivity, lack of coordination, ineffective leadership styles. For example, if an employee or is not collaborating very effectively, a team building intervention can be introduced to improve relationship and trust. So, how to build structural or strengthen relationship among the employees? We need to study first of all. See, all the interventions are not suitable for many occasions or all the occasions because context to context, the intervention may be different. People to people, probably the attitude may also vary. Accordingly, we can pick the intervention. See, OD intervention can be applied at different levels, individual, groups, organization level. So leadership training focuses on individuals, team building on groups, and restructuring on the entire organization, friends. Sometimes, we can call it as flexible environment. See, according to the environment, the OD interventions also will be flexible or should be flexible. So, because if flexibility is there, OD may be matchable or OD may be, mappable actually. See, another key point is alignment with the organization goals. Very, very important. See, in the golden principles of management, you have seen something called all the component or mix, whatever you have seen, everything to be aligned with the organization goal, vision, mission. So, like that, the alignment with the organization goal, which are applicable for the OD also. So, intervention are not isolated activities, they are connected to the broader strategy of the organization, friends. See, this ensure that all the improvement efforts contribute to long-term success. So, OD interventions are critical in managing change. They help organization transition smoothly by reducing resistance and increasing employee involvement. As I told you, whenever if you want to make some changes, we may expect some kind of resistance, either 550% or 100% or 20%, 30%. We are ready to address those issues also, friends. See, so OD interventions are critical in managing change. You should accept. They help organization transition very smoothly, even for transformation, by reducing resistance and increasing employee engagement or emotional involvement. At the same time, the OD intervention contribute to building a positive organizational culture based on trust, openness, and collaboration. The another important thing, features of OD intervention. What sort of features OD interventions build actually possess? See, the interventions have several important features which distinguish them from a routine managerial actions. First, they are all planned one and systematic, which means they follow a structured process rather than being just like that implemented randomly. They are all data driven, which is one of the important thing. So before implementing any intervention, organization conduct diagnosis through survey, interviews, or observation. These definitely will help identify the root causes of problems instead of treating small symptoms. So another important feature is the focus on long-term improvement, not ad hoc basis. It is not a temporary one. So if looking for the long-term improvement, unlike quick fixes, OD interventions aim at sustainable change that continues to benefit the organization over time. See, employee participation also one of the important features of OD intervention. So employees are not passive recipients and but active participants. This involvement increases ownership and reduces resistance to change. See, again, I'm telling you, employees are not passive recipients but active participants. Why? Because this involvement increases always ownership and reduces resistance to change. We try to make them to understand they are all the part and parcel of organization for which we are all taking much efforts. If they understand, no second thought about the intervention, resistance and all. So OD interventions are also aligned with organizational strategy. If an organization aims to improve innovation, intervention like creativity, workshops, or cross-functional teams may be introduced. Flexibility is another very much essential. It is one of the, key feature of organization development. Intervention can be modified based on organizational needs and context. No single intervention fits all situations. As I told you, the intervention may be changeable in nature from a department to another department, context to context, and person to person. So, OD interventions addresses both human and structural aspects. They consider not only systems but also processes, people, relationship, culture, making them holistic in nature. The another key features of effective OD interventions, the interventions always contributing more performance of an organization. What is the contribution? Contribution with respect to overall growth of an organization. It contributes for the development of the individual, group, team as a whole organizational growth. And it also contributing a lot for the technology mapping. That is very important. If you are mapping the technology with regular operations of an organization is very tough because people may not accept, context also may not accept. Immediately, people just like that, not ready to jump into the tech savvy, for which we are looking for how we need to map the OD intervention with the present change and all. See, top management support also here is very critical. See, without leadership commitment, even well-designed intervention may fail. So leaders must provide resources and actively support the change process. See, one of the most important is that problem-oriented and goal-focused. Right? We cannot exclude. Again, I'm telling you, it is a problem-oriented and goal-focused. So every intervention must clearly address a specific issue, right? So another key feature is open communications. See, employees should feel safe to express their feeling, their emotions, opinion, and concerns. This transparency builds trust and encourages participation. See, effective interventions are based on scientific principles. They rely on tested theories and models rather than merely assumptions. This increases their credibility and effectiveness of an organization as a whole, right? See, pretty well you have been traveling with so many industries, so many organizations. In that, you have taken a portion of role and responsibilities. How many of you having more problem challenges? Everybody, including me, got a lot of challenges and failures or kind of problem. How we are all resolving, how we are all addressing. So we are keep on thinking something. The output of thoughts known as the OD intervention is a prompt situation how a particular individual or group of people are going to take the intervention. So these interventions are really a hectic task done by HR department people, HR expertise, right? So effective interventions are purely based on scientific principles. You should not forget. So feedback and evaluations are also equally getting important because it is a mechanism. It's very important. See, organization must consecutively monitor the progress and periodical development and make adjustment as of when needed actually, right? And this ensures that the interventions remains always relevant. See, it promotes a learning and development also. So they enhance employee skills, capabilities, caliber, which contributes to both individual and organizational overall growth. See, overall, the key features ensure that interventions are not only effective but also sustainable in the present competitive business era. What is the need for selecting appropriate OD interventions? Right? What is the primary objectives? Each and every organization really need of selecting appropriate OD intervention for their departments based on requirements. See, selecting the apt OD intervention is not just a technical step. It is a really strategic decision that determines the success or failure of the entire change initiative. See, organization often make the mistake of applying standard solution to different problems. But in reality, each organizational issues is unique and requires a customized approach. Say, for example, if the core issue is very poor communication, implementing structural redesign alone will not solve the problem. Instead of intervention like team building or process consultation may be more effective. So there are so many avenues available. We can pick whether we have picked right or wrong, we need to decide. See, one of the primary reasons for the careful selection is the efficient utilization of resources. See, OD interventions involve significant investment in terms of time, cost, and managerial overall effort. If the wrong intervention is selected, it is not only waste these resources but can also create additional problem. Hence, organization must ensure that every intervention adds value and contributes to desirable outcomes. See, another critical aspects of the OD intervention selection, when there is a strong alignment between the problem and intervention, the results are more measurable, easy to evaluate, and maybe impactful also. See, if an employee motivation is very low, we need to introduce a reward system or recognition program can be directly addressed to the issue. On the other hand, a mismatch between problem and intervention leads to ineffective outcomes and frustration among employees. Right? If you are chosen wrong, probably solution for a problem, keep on the problem is prolonging definitely we won't be able to get the solution. See, organizational culture plays a very important role in the selection process. See, every organization, its own values, belief, and ways of functioning. An intervention which works well in one organization may fail in another due to cultural differences. Again, I'm telling you, I can't assure the same intervention will be working out for each and every context, for each and every organization. Say, for example, participative intervention are also highly effective in organization with open and collaborative cultures, whereas they may face resistance in highly hierarchical based environments. Hence, cultural compatibility also must always be considered. See, another key reason for selecting the right intervention is to minimize resistance to change. See, employees often resist change when they don't understand its purpose, when they feel it is very irrelevant. Is it not relevant or not understand? What the thing probably happening. However, when you intervention clearly addresses their concerns and improve their work environment, they are more likely to support it. Without reason, without root cause, you should not jump onto the picking the intervention. These highlights the importance of choosing intervention that are both meaningful and beneficial to employees. More and more, probably experience, further learning also will help you a lot to choose, intervention practices. In addition, proper selection ensures organization readiness for change. Before implementing any intervention, organization must assess whether employees have the necessary skills, mindset, and willingness to adopt. If readiness is very low, preliminary intervention such as awareness program or a training session may be required without fail. It is also equally important to consider the long-term impact of interventions. So OD is not about quick fixes. It is about sustainable improvement. Often I'm telling each and every session, we are all living in the sustainable business environment, friends. Hence, the selection of intervention should be very, very careful. See, all the intervention should contribute not only to immediate problem solving, also for the long-term focus, vision. See, long-term OD vision, that is important. See, furthermore, selecting the right intervention enhances coordination and integration across different departments and branches in an organization. When interventions are aligned with the overall organization strategy, definitely it will create energy, synergy, and improve overall effectiveness. In brief, selecting the appropriate OD intervention ensures better resource utilization, higher success rates, cultural alignment, reduced resistance. In present situation, people are having kind of afraid or fear about resistance from the employees groups. So reduce resistance and sustainable organizational growth. It is critical step that requires careful analysis to be needed. Planning and strategic thinking are also equally needed. Without the proper selection, even the best designed intervention may be failure to deliver the results. Hope you are understanding how you need to give more importance to selecting the OD interventions, friends. While we are selecting the OD intervention for an organization, there are so many drivers, there are so many determinants or factors influencing, right? So, what are the factors we need to discuss now? Very important factor is nature of the problem. See, organization must clearly identify whether the issue is technical, structural, behavioral. Say, for example, a communication breakdown require team building or process consultation, whereas inefficiency in workflow may require restructuring or re-engineering. Right? The another factor we can call it as organizational culture. Every organization has its own values, norms, working style, and cycle. An intervention must be aligned with this culture to be accepted. Say, for example, participatory decision making works well in open cultures but may not succeed in highly hierarchical organization. The another important factor is employee readiness for change. If employees are not mentally prepared, even the best intervention may be failure. Another example, before introducing performance appraisal system, organization may need awareness session to build acceptance. Why we are launching performance appraisal? What is the purpose behind that. After sitting in the performance appraisal, based on your output, what will benefit for you and the organization? Accordingly, we try to give orientation, friends. See, another important factor is availability of resources, including time, money, expertise, everything. A complex intervention like business process re-engineering requires high investment, whereas training programs are relatively less costly, right? So the size of the organization, organizational structure. What do you call size of organization? Because it also influences selection. Large organization may require formal and structural intervention, while small firm can adopt flexible and informal approaches. Close related, no, organizational structure also. A rigid, centralized structure may need structural redesign, whereas a flexible structure may benefit more from behavioral intervention. So the leadership style also equally getting important in the case of the drivers. Why leadership style within the organization also play a vital role? Why supportive leadership encourages participative intervention, while autocratic leader may resist such approaches? Correct. So what kind of leadership we need to pick? See, always, we should not think about forcing rules and regulation or enforce rules. So we are looking for the participated leadership style to be followed by each and every middle level, top level leaders. See, another important factor is urgency of the problem. If the issue is very critical, quick intervention may be required. Right? A sudden drop in productivity, product and services, immediately what we have to do. So may require immediate corrective measures and mechanism. We need to pick the right personnel to take decision. What are the areas we need to do some kind of immediate changes we should do? And long term and short term focus is also equally important. OD interventions are generally long term, but sometimes organization may need short term solutions before implementing larger changes, right? So nature of workforce is also another one of the important factors. A highly skilled workforce may respond well to empowerment initiatives, while less skilled employees may need training based intervention. All the employees are not having the same skill, right? Mid level or top level or impact oriented skill. Accordingly, we need to pick the intervention. See, level up problem also we need to address carefully. So what is the problem significance actually? Whether it exists at the individual level, group level, or organization focus. See, interpersonal conflicts is known as the fantastic example. These conflicts require group level intervention, while leadership issues require individual level intervention. If you're talking about conflict, we can go for the group level. If you're talking about the leadership, we can go for the individual level intervention. So I'm now focusing about group level intervention, individual level intervention, where we need to map. That is important. See, past experience and change also another critical factor. So organizations that have successfully implemented change earlier are more likely to accept a new intervention whenever we need. The external environment also has a strong influence, like competition, technological changes, market conditions may require organization to adopt specific intervention. So, for example, digital transformation may require training in new technologies, right? And like that, availability of data and diagnosis is critical. So intervention must be based on accurate data. Otherwise, they may address the wrong prediction or wrong problem. The risk associated with the intervention is another consideration. Some interventions involve higher risk and uncertainty. So organization must evaluate potential outcomes carefully. High risk, low risk, moderate risk, sir. Whom probably we can approach or who are all going to take this one, sir. Depending upon the department or branch, based on the priority and task, they are going to tell this is called the high risk, this is called the moderate risk. Okay, accordingly, they need to pick the intervention. See, I am always telling, hiring and the firing. In between, there are sequence of steps available, sequence of process available. Each and every process for operational convenience, for better performance, we are launching as many steps. These steps we call them as OD intervention, friends. And the employee involvement level, right? How we choose the selection, correct? See, the employee involvement level also influences selection in the intervention of an organization. Why? Because intervention that involve employees tend to have higher acceptance and success rates. Again, if you have chosen very few right or appropriate intervention, not a problem. We have chosen intervention wrongly. But how many intervention? 50, 40, 30. Number is not a problem, not a matter actually. Okay, how many interventions really focused one are contributing a lot for the organizational vision, or very importantly, how the interventions are focusing about the problem, giving the instant solution. That is a issue here. Okay, and alignment with the organization goals and strategy is very much essential, right? Every intervention must contribute to overall objective vision mission of an organization. So these are all the quite some factors which are influencing while we are choosing the OD intervention, friends. See, number one, organizational culture, nature of problem, employees readiness for change, availability of resources, size of the organization, structure, leadership styles, urgency of the problem, long term and short term focus, nature of workforce, level of the problem, past experience with change, external environment, risk and employee involvement level, alignment with organization goals. So these are all the sequence of factors. All the factors probably may not contributing a lot for the organization. It may be differ from one organization to another organization, friends. Hope all of you understanding about the factors. There are so many steps which are available while we are selecting OD intervention. Each step plays a critical role in ensuring that the chosen intervention is very appropriate, effective, and aligned with organizational goals. The first step, diagnosing the problem. This is very important. This involves collecting relevant data through methods such as surveys, interview, observation, and the performance reports. The objectives here is not just to identify the symptoms, but to understand the base root cause of the problem. Say, for example, if productivity is low or absenteeism also high, the problem may not be employee efficiency, right? Employee inefficiency, right? It could be due to poor leadership, unclear roles, lack of motivation, or some kind of dissatisfaction among the employees group. So without proper diagnosis or identification, organization may implement the wrong intervention. If you are finding everything, we can choose prompt intervention here, right? These steps ensure that decisions are data driven rather than assumption based or hypothetical situation based, which increases the accuracy and the effectiveness of the intervention. The next step is, identifying organizational needs and priorities. Once the problem is diagnosed, that is called found, the next step is to identify organizational needs and priorities. Not all issues require immediate attention, friends. So organization must decide what is most critical, which is more important. So we need to prioritize. For instance, if an organization is facing both communication problems and high employee turnover, that is called attrition, it may prioritize because it directly affects the performance and cost as well. So, how to eradicate attrition? What are the major reasons available? These steps helps in focusing resources on high impact areas and ensure that interventions are aligned with the strategic priorities. See, next one, evaluation of alternative intervention. See, in this situation, organizations explore different possible intervention, various options or avenues that can address the identified problem. Instead of choosing the first available option, multiple alternatives should be considered. For instance, to improve team performance, options may include team building workshops, leadership training, or restructuring team roles. Each alternative is evaluated based on its relevance, effectiveness, suitability. So this comparative analysis always helps organization choose the best possible solution. See, assessing feasibility and the potential impact. What is actually, after identifying possible intervention, organization must assess their feasibility and expected impact, which includes availability of budget, time required, availability of expertise, organizational readiness. So four components are under the category called feasibility study. For example, a company may want to implement digital transformation, but employees lack technical skills. They may not even basic knowledge about technology. It may not be feasible immediately. So we need to give kind of training. So impact assessment focuses on expected outcome such as improved productivity, better communication, or higher employee satisfaction, friends. See, these steps ensure that intervention is practical and capable of delivering meaningful results. Next step is selecting the most appropriate intervention. See, based on the evaluation and feasible analysis, the organization selects the most suitable intervention or apt situation, that is called alignment with the organizational goals, cultural compatibility, employee acceptance, long-term benefits. Say, for example, if the issue is employee conflict, a third-party intervention or conflict resolution program may be selected instead of structural changes. So, selecting the right intervention at this stage is very critical because it determines the overall success of the OD initiative, right? In the name of initiative, we are going to pick OD. After picking the OD, we should not feel that we are wrongly chosen the OD, right? The next step is developing implementation and communication plan. So once the intervention is selected, a detailed implementation plan is prepared. This includes timelines, responsibilities, resources, and execution strategies. See, equally, these are all very important in the communication plan. So employee must be informed about why the change is happening, what changes will occur, how it will benefit them. So before introducing a new performance appraisal system, employees should be trained and informed to reduce confusions and resistance, friends. Right? See, these steps doubly ensure that smooth execution and employee involvement, which are essential for success, this and all applicable for each and every organization. Friend. We should be doubly cautious whether the changes will be adaptable easily, flexible as well to all the employees. Not even one person, we may expect the resistance from the employees. So these collection of steps, ensure that the selection of OD intervention is systematic, logical, and evidence-based. By following this structured approach, organization can avoid costly mistakes, reduce resistance, and achieve sustainable improvement, friends. There are important OD intervention techniques. The techniques are maybe suitable for organization in all the context. Offers a wide range of intervention techniques which help organizations improve effectiveness, enhance employee performance, and manage change systematically. These techniques are not isolated tools but are strategically selected based on organizational needs, problems, and goals. Each intervention addresses a specific aspects of organizational functioning such as communication, teamwork, structure, or performance. See, one of the widely used techniques, survey feedback. We need to collect data from various corners and we need to refine and extract the inferences. In this method, data is collected from employees through structured observation interview schedule questionnaire, which are analyzed and shared with them transparently. The key strength of survey feedback lies always in its participative approach, where employees are involved in identifying issues and suggesting improvements. Say, for example, an employee satisfaction survey may reveal issues relating to leadership or work environment or problem persisting to the organization itself. What kind of problem persisted? Why we need to address immediately? If you fail to address the problem immediately, the keep on dissatisfaction belonging to the entire organization. So no output, no performance in future. See, and based on this feedback, corrective actions can be taken then and there. See, another important intervention technique is process consultation. See, where an external or internal consultant helps managers understand organizational processes such as communication pattern, decision making, and workflow. See, rather than directly solving the problem, the consultant acts as facilitator, enabling the organization to diagnose and improve its own processes. This approach is highly effective in improving transparency and efficiency, right? Team building is another widely used intervention aimed at improving group dynamics and collaboration. See, in a team, there are multiple employees are there, few, that is called 5, 6, 10, 7. See, all the employees are contributing their own skill their own caliber, their own guts, right? And experience, intellectual knowledge. So it involves structured activities that help team members understand each other's strengths, resolve conflicts, and work toward common goal. Example, organization often conduct team building workshops to improve coordination and trust among employees, especially in cross-functional teams. Closely related to the sensitivity training, also as T group training. This intervention focuses on improving interpersonal relationship by increasing self-awareness and understanding of others. See, participants engage in unstructured group interactions, which helps them recognize their behavior completely and its impact on others. See, although it may seem informal, it plays a crucial role in developing emotional intelligence and communication skill always. Right? Moving towards structural improvements, techno-structural intervention also is very important. These interventions focus on enhancing organizational efficiency through changes in design, process, and employee involvement. See, these intervention, may include restructuring departments, redesigning workflows, otherwise known as a revamping, or introducing participatory decision-making process, etc. See, a company may adopt a flat organizational structure to improve communication and reduce delays in decision making. It is quite some example. See, another performance-oriented intervention, MBO, management by objectives. See, in this approach, managers can employees jointly set goals which ensures alignment between individual performance and organizational objectives, etc. Friends, this is not only improves accountability but also enhances motivation. Employees clearly understand what is expected from them, each and every level, entry level, middle level, top level. Similarly, quality circles involves small groups of employees who regularly meet to identify and resolve work-related problems. This techniques encourages employee participation, consecutive improvement. That is called non-stop improvement. Consistency should be there, for which we need to follow the intervention techniques. Example, workers in a manufacturing unit may form quality circles to reduce defects and improve production processes. To encourage creativity and innovation, organizations often use brainstorming as an intervention. It's a quite interesting one. Why? We have a problem. We are looking for the solution. We have a team members. We have got an assumption out of five, one and only really keen on the problem. The rest of them did no. We should not have hypothetical situation. We don't have that kind of assumption. We ask them to come for the discussion. Just we have to throw the problem. We ask them to go for first two or three sittings, and we make them to give the so much of solution for the problems. So they are all throwing the solution, or kind of what is resolving mechanism. So after collecting the so much of solution for a single problem, we can screen. So what I am saying, if instead of taking a solution from an individual, we can go for collection of set of more number of solution from different people for a same issues. So brainstorming is a fantastic intervention. It is a simple yet powerful technique where employees generate a large number of ideas without a criticism. Correct? So we are not only expecting solution for a problem, but also expecting so many creative or innovative ideas for further improvement and development. So this open environment fosters, always creative thinking and helps organization find innovative solutions to the problems. See, job redesign and job enrichment. What I am saying, job redesign and the job enrichment focuses on modifying job roles to make them more meaningful and challenging. These are also one of the important techniques of OD. By increasing responsibility, autonomy, and skill variety, employees feel more motivated and satisfied. So another example, giving employees more decision making authority can significantly improve their engagement and performance. Correct? So significant engagement of an individual may differ. No second thought, friends. See, in general, OD intervention techniques provide organization with the practical tools to improve performance, enhance employee involvement, more emotional connection, and achieve sustainable growth. So these and all really making them essential for modern organizational success. Hope all of you are aware about fundamental principles of OD intervention, how to choose intervention, what kind of steps available, challenges and problems, and stages, right? Different techniques. So let me conclude in brief. OD interventions are essential tools for improving organizational effectiveness and managing change as well. This provide organizations with well-defined approaches to address complex challenges such as communication gaps, low productivity, resistance to change, leadership issues. Unlike routine managerial actions, OD interventions are planned, data-driven, and grounded in behavioral science. Right? The effectiveness of these interventions largely depends on their characteristics of proper selection and careful implementation. So organization must ensure that every intervention is aligned with their strategic goals and supported by accurate data and diagnosis. Right? Without proper alignment, even well-designed intervention may fail to deliver meaningful results. Okay. So another important takeaway is the selection process play a decisive role in the success of OD initiatives, right? Even we can go for multiple OD intervention, but what will be the implication is a question mark. It is also important to recognize the role of people in the success of OD intervention. Employees' participation is critical because change can't be imposed. It must be accepted. When employees are involved in the process, they develop a sense of ownership of organization and commitment of an organization. So top management support ensures availability of resources and reinforce the importance of the intervention, friends. Continuous monitoring and evaluations are equally essential. See, furthermore, OD intervention contribute significantly to organizational learning and capability building. Right? So, OD intervention help developing skills, improving communication, strengthening teamwork, and building a positive organizational culture. In today's dynamic and competitive business environment, friends, organization must be very flexible and adaptable. OD intervention enable organization to respond very effectively to change, innovate continuously, and remain competitive. Really, these interventions also help in building resilience, which is very much essential for long-term survival. Maybe you are all OD consultant or HR consultant. In future, you may be a OD consultant, so you should be doubly cautious about these intervention practices, friends. So it can be concluded that OD interventions are not just the tools for a problem solving, but also strategic mechanisms for transformational change and transformation growth. When designed and implemented effectively, they lead to higher performance, improved employee satisfaction, and sustainable organizational success, further productivity. Thank you all.